and I realized that I didn't name it correctly. I didn't have a good title. Hopefully this audio is working okay. I'm using my phone this morning. Supposed to be at the gym. However, everybody in the household is moving slow. What time is it? I took my Garmin off so I could charge it. I think it's like 8:45 by now. Today I wanted to hop on live and talk about supplements that actually move the needle for people with POTS or even chronic illness in general, from what I've seen. If you are new to this channel, my name is Justin Quintero. I have worked with countless numbers of people that have POTS syndrome. I've worked with people that have fibromyalgia, with people that have but autoimmune. Let's keep it there. Lots of chronic illness, lots of chronic disease, that type of stuff. And I have recovered from chronic illness myself, POTS syndrome, mold toxicity, so many things. Today, I'm really excited. I just want to address something first about my uploads and going live and things of that nature. Came on 2 weeks ago, so that I was going to post 2 to 3 times a week, go live a few times a week. Man, the past 2 weeks have been crazy. Business stuff, scheduling wise, just so many moving pieces. I thought that I would be able to truly stick to that. And right now I'm just kind of realizing that I got to take what I can take instead of just like over promising it. So it's a Saturday morning. Everybody's still getting ready. I've been up since 6. Uh, so I'm just taking this opportunity to go live, and I'm gonna just start filming segments of my life throughout the week, and when I can post, I'll post it. If I feel like I have a topic that I can sit down and talk about, I'll sit down and talk about it and then post it, or I'll just go live about it. But I digress. Let's talk about supplements that actually move the needle. What I think is really interesting about this topic is that there's so many uh what are they called? Um, Charlatans out there when it comes to the supplement game and chronic illness that are trying to pimp supplements that have something to sell you. The best part about this live right now, I have zero affiliation with any of the supplements that I'll be talking about. Zero affiliation. I have nothing to sell you in this video. I'm just going to simply tell you the things that have actually moved the needle for me. Recently, if you guys, again, are new to the channel or you haven't watched any of my other videos that I've recently uploaded or my lives, I thought that I was going to crash with POTS syndrome again in February and moving forward up until like last month, basically, because I did an ultra marathon, 40 miles. I was chronically under eating during my prep, scheduling stuff, of course, such as life for Justin. And after my ultra, I got the flu, and then I would proceed to have viruses back to back, like every 2 weeks, and the window was like closing in. So it was like the closest the two viruses happened, or two of my viruses happened, was like I think 4 or 5 days. And so I just thought it was going to be a never ending cycle. I literally thought that I was going to crash with POTS again because I started getting POTSy, whatever. I did a GI map test, I did a organic acids test, and then I met with a functional med practitioner based off of my test results to help me actually get a hold of all this stuff again. And I am happy to report that I have been free and clear of any viruses and healthy, thank God, for like probably 2 months or so. It's June, April. Yeah, that's about right. I think I went to Hawaii in March or April, whatever. I digress. I got sick 5 times in 10 weeks, and we've been healthy since the last virus. So here's the deal. There's a lot of charlatans in the industry right now trying to pimp products. I keep seeing this thiamine, I think it's thiamine theory, like B1 theory, with POTS. And somebody actually commented about that. And look, it's not that I don't think that some of these B vitamins and things of that nature, because we've talked to ad nauseum about that stuff on this channel, that they can be magic for some people. But the correlation between like thiamine and POTS, the actual like data or the evidence is very small that that would be like a magic pill for anyone. It's very small. There's a very small subset of people with POTS syndrome that are finding results from that, and I think that it's overpromised. The things that we know that work for POTS: nervous system, retraining. So, and not in the way that people are trying to sell these programs, right? Like actually getting your nervous system back in action and retrained in terms of like learning how to rest and digest. That is what works. Teaching your nervous system to not be afraid of work, and teaching your nervous system to be able to recover from volume of training or cardiovascular training, whatever it is, that works. The things that we know in terms of supplements that really do work: minerals, sodium, potassium, magnesium. That stuff really works. It actually moves the needle forward. Building up your exercise tolerance actually works. Now, with all that being said, there's always going to be a certain subset of people that have genetic predispositions or genetic SNPs that we've talked about before, where something may actually just be a deficiency and then gives you POTS-like symptoms, right? And if you guys have spent any time on my channel, I'm a true believer that POTS is actually a deficiency. This is my belief. It's not really backed up by much besides all the anecdote, all the people that I've worked with, looking at labs, having people send me their charts and stuff like that. It's my thought that a lot of this is actually a nutrient deficiency or some sort of deficiency, like maybe they have some sort of toxicity or some sort of thing that's going on, and then they correct for that, and usually it's gone. Here are the things that I don't want to say it's been a magic like pill, but it's basically been a magic pill for me, okay? Um, Beam Minerals. It's the weirdest thing, okay? They have this electrolyzed formula and then a micro boost mineral supplement. In this electrolyze formula, it's fulvic biomass, 70 plus minerals and electrolytes, probably from fulvic. I don't know. Fulvic. I don't even know how to put it into words, but fulvic acid or fulvic. My mind is escaping me with this right now. But then this one is 100% pure fulvic biomass as well, 14.04 milligrams, and then 100% pure humic biomass. So includes 70 plus minerals, electrolytes, and amino acids. These are mineral-based supplements. And so minerals are the building blocks for like basically everything in your body, aside from amino acids, right? And I believe truly, like in my heart, in my mind, that most humans are deficient in minerals, okay? I truly believe that. I believe that we're just hyper deficient in basically everything. You can take a look at soil charts dating back to the 40s or 50s all the way up until now and see how depleted our soil is. And you can make that correlation between chronic illness, mental health, and depletion of mineral and soil and nutrients in our food up until now. And you can watch the charts and how they correlate with each other. And one thing that I think is very interesting is fulvic. I think it's fulvic acid, humic and fulvic acid. I don't remember exactly what their names are, because to be honest with you, I haven't done a ton of research on both of those compounds. As soon as I started taking this, these two together, I noticed a difference the next day. I'm very, very supplement sensitive. Okay. So like I know when something's working for me. Like ashwagandha. That's one of the supplements that I never recommend to anybody because I personally have had a terrible experience with it. But with ashwagandha, I noticed immediately that it didn't work for me. I was in a full-on panic attack. B supplements like hydroxy, the hydroxy and the mixture between hydroxy and the other one, not methylcobalamin. That specific B vitamin, that form of B12 works really, really well for me. Methyl can sometimes overstimulate me. And then obviously cyanocobalamin just like does nothing. Okay. So what's interesting about these two things is the very next day after taking this, again, I have zero affiliation. I was recommended this by my functional practitioner. The very next day, my resting heart rate is already pretty low because I'm pretty fit. Okay. But my resting heart rate sitting was in the low 50s and high 40s, which is crazy, even by my standard. Okay. Like for me, normally my heart rate is in the like 60s to like low 70s when at rest like this, right? And I can't check it right now because I don't have my Garmin on, and you guys are on my phone, and my Whoop is on my bicep, so I can't check that right now. But it's an actual marker that I can look at and be like, something else is different. The only other supplement that I've introduced recently is called Neuralink, and it's a mixture of amino acids for your brain. So L-tyrosine, GABA, I think 5-HTP is in it, and then L-glutamine. There's a few things in there, but that wouldn't have this kind of effect. There's no downstream effect of those supplements that would affect that, right? So the minerals have seemed to actually be working. And the other thing that's really interesting about it is my my blood pressure and heart rate moving from sitting to standing, right? Because although I say that I'm recovered and that I've gone into remission years ago, I still would get like symptoms sometimes when I would go from like a squat to standing. If I'm at baseball practice, I'm the head coach of my team, my son's team now. So if I'm like coaching out in the heat or in the sun and I go from squatting to like standing quickly, um, I would still get like dizzy sometimes. Even barring that I've had enough electrolytes, 4,000 to 5,000 milligrams in a day, supplemental, sodium, and then the potassium, whatever. Even after doing that, I would still have those symptoms. I have not experienced that once since taking these. And that's not bullshit. That's not my head. That's just genuinely have not felt that after taking these. Crazy. I have not been without that feeling. I have not been without the feeling of going from like sitting or squatting to standing quickly and moving and getting like a little bit like, ooh, ever. I think that I've always had that my entire life. I don't know if I've experienced that while taking these. For people that are in late, these are the supplements that I'm talking about right here. Okay. I have zero affiliation. I do not sell these, no discount code, nothing like that. It was a supplement that my functional med doctor, or my functional nutritionist recommended me, and it has actually moved the needle, has actually made a difference. In terms of my workouts, actually has made a difference too. My recovery time is better. My heart rate is lower during workouts, albeit my heart rate can't be super low during, the CrossFit workouts, the Metcons, the conditioning, but it actually has moved the needle. It's actually made a difference. So those are the main things that I've noticed. Now, do I think that they're going to move the needle that much for other people? I have no idea. I just figured that I would come on and share the good news. And if you guys want to try it, these will not do anything bad to you. It's mineral based supplements. You would get this in food. You can get it in food. Well, actually, it'd be tough to get it in food, but mineral based, that's it. It just comes from that. So the next thing that I've done recently, I think I started this 3 days ago. Yeah, 3 days ago. What I did was I upped my magnesium quite a bit. So I was taking 200 milligrams of magnesium every single night before bed, magnesium bisglycinate. That's the one that I take because it helps your nervous system. It has more access to your nervous system, if you will. It helps bring you, down and help regulate you, helps you get to sleep faster. There's, research on it with the onset of sleep and sleep latency and, continuing to have good sleep waves during the night. So that's the one that I take because I don't want to worry about shitting myself. And I've gone from 200 milligrams now to 400 milligrams. And as somebody who's as active as I am, and the sweat rate that I have, which I haven't measured, but I sweat like a dog, right? Especially when I'm working out, I should probably take more upwards towards 800 to 1,000 milligrams supplemental magnesium a day. With all the element that I take, between 4 and 5, servings of it per day. Well, 3 and 5 depending on the day. I get quite a bit there too. So We get quite a bit from that. So I'm getting around like 5 to 600 supplemental milligrams of magnesium, and that's not including like diet. Okay, so and that is something too that I've noticed actually has moved the needle. So magnesium, um, how I knew that it moved the needle immediately was the first night that I took it and took 400 milligrams before bed. The next morning, on average, my HRV is like 69 or something like that. The average throughout the past like 80 days that I've been using my Whoop strap again. Garmin tells you a different story. The Sleep 8 tells you a different story, but I usually go off my Whoop. It's like 69. Um, the night that I did that, the next morning, it was at 99. So that's another marker where you can be like, what I chose to do yesterday, the decision that I made, and by the way, I had a very hard workout that day too, which is very interesting that your HRV would go up on the night of you having a very hard workout. My HRV went up about 30 points from average. So magnesium actually moved the needle. Okay. So now here's some things I want to tell you guys, and I want to give you a clue into how you can actually tell if things are moving the needle. Because I think that this is another thing, right? People with POTS are very sensitive towards supplement talk, exercise talk, nutrition talk, and nobody ever really tells you guys how you can measure these things. Like what are the things that you can actually do to tell if something moves the needle? Well, the thing that I would do as somebody with POTS, it's um, a nervous system disorder, right? Hey, what's going on? It's been a long time. The nervous system disorder stuff, right? The thing that I would actively be measuring if I was you guys, and I'm actually going to get into a comment that was left on a video recently. I would be measuring your resting heart rate and I would be measuring your HRV. Now, I'm a person that fully believes that people with POTS syndrome should not be obsessing and keeping a lot of track of these metrics because it can do more harm than good. But what I would recommend is that you guys keep an average of what your resting heart rate is. So get some sort of tracker. The Whoop strap right now is my favorite because there's no screen on it. You can't obsessively check unless you're like chronically on your phone and you go on the app and you check that, all that. But I don't recommend you guys do that type of thing. What I recommend is that you have some sort of tracker that will keep averages for you and then you can look at it over time. That's the best way to do it. So resting heart rate is the number one thing. HRV is the second thing. Now, HRV is a little bit tricky because, and I've talked about this way back, like probably 2, 3 years ago when it comes to HRV and how it can be like detrimental. But I think that as an athlete, somebody who does want to compete high level, somebody who has competed pretty high level, HRV is one of the things that I'm paying a lot more attention to now because HRV over time is a good teller if you're getting fitter or not, or if you are on your way to crashing or getting injured. And so HRV is something that I have been paying attention to lately because it's something that I want to optimize. It's not like an obsession, because I'm not in a pot cycle anymore. But it's something that I do think about often now, in terms of recovery and using modalities to improve that shows me what's actually working and what's moving the needle in my fitness and in my health. So like I'll be real with you guys, I spent like $4,500 on a cold plunge recently 2 months ago after all my viruses and whatever, and it has not improved my HRV that much. So now I spent $4,500 on something that hasn't improved my HRV that much, but it feels good, so I'm going to keep doing it, right? Like cold plunging feels good on my body to my mind, and it's a good way to start the day, and it's good for routine, so that's why I continue to do it. But it has not moved the needle in terms of HRV. Things that do move the needle for HRV for me is like breath work, magnesium, and making sure that I'm well hydrated and recovering properly with different protocols. I digress. Why HRV is important? Okay, HRV is important because of this, but let's get to the sticky part. The reason why that I think it's a really sticky thing, right? Like it sticks in your brain as a person with POTS is people get very hung up on, like I told you guys, my HRV is 69, right? But I have a 22-year-old dude who's living with us right now, and his average HRV is like 120. Why does that make a difference, or why does that even matter? Because a lot of people with POTS become very obsessive, right? It's OCD like. It's like they get stuck on things and it's sticking on their brain. And they're like, well, that person's HRV is 120, mine is 69. So there must be something wrong, or blah, 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 blah. Your HRV is your HRV is your HRV. Comparing it to somebody else and then deciding whether or not yours is good or bad, yeah, it's not helpful at all. Does it make sense that if you can raise your HRV, your nervous system is in a better spot? 100%. But that doesn't mean that you should be comparing yourself to another person's HRV, because objectively, he and I go and do a workout. I win 10 times out of 10. I have a more fit I have more fit systems than he does, right? My nervous system though just might be in a different spot. Okay? And the fact that when you get older, these things tend to like drop off, whatever. The whole point is comparing your HRV to somebody else's HRV. There's no comparison there. There's no line that you can draw that's like, ooh, that person's more healthy or more fit or whatever than I. It's just that's your baseline. Okay. The reason why HRV is important though is because you can make improvements on your HRV. The lower your HRV score, probably the less available or the less ready your autonomic nervous system is to actually take on stress. So you compare it to your baseline. So if my baseline is like, let's just, it's 69, and one day it's like 45, that means that my autonomic nervous system is not in a great spot. I should probably rest more. I should chill more. I should practice more breath work. I should do more cold. I should do more heat exposure, whatever it is. Maybe take a lot more magnesium that day to help me recover so that my nervous system is primed and ready and on the way to health. Okay. If your HRV has gone up, that doesn't always necessarily mean I'm ready and in a good spot to do more. That maybe means that you keep things the same so that you can continue to improve on that number or keep that number now there so that you can work on a higher baseline. Okay. So, all that to say, supplements do work. There are certain supplements that are going to work better for, different people. I am a true believer that minerals are the foundation as well as amino acids. And you should be taking your mineral composition super seriously. You should be taking your mineral consumption super seriously and figure out what works for you. Again, no affiliation, zero. I don't sell these. I don't make any money. I have no code. This is just what I've been taking. These two work for me very well. Okay. So far. And along with this, I'm hydrating. I'm trying to hydrate as much as possible. 3 to 5 servings of Element a day with those, and it's just freaking worked, man. I don't know what else to say about that. And then the magnesium, the added magnesium. So is there a Google list somewhere with the best supplements for POTS? I don't know. Maybe that's something. Maybe that's a resource that I should make with Claude or something. Put in my recommendations. My recommendations are always going to be baseline stuff. It's always going to be. Can you guys hear that plane? Damn, that's super loud. Oh, there's two flying right next to each other. That seems dangerous. Yeah, they're literally right next to each other. Okay. My recommendations for POTS is always going to be start with sodium, potassium, magnesium, add the minerals. We talked about the B1 deficiency and how I think it's just a scam. Yeah, that's it so far with those. So maybe that's a resource that I should come up with for this channel. But minerals, dude, minerals are going to be it. Are you live on your phone? It's crazy good quality for phone. Oh, sweet. Thanks. Yeah, it's my phone. Yeah, I moved. So for any of you guys that will be watching this after the fact, or, you, since you're here. So I moved all of my office stuff to our new office, to our new clinic. So if I do go live at home, it's always going to be on my phone. If I go live at the clinic, it's going to be on the computer or the camera setup. So yeah, dude, I'm super excited to be on this channel. I'm super excited to be creating content again. I said that I was gonna go, I was gonna post, dude, 3 times a week, even with Tristan. We are just so freaking busy building this business right now that I definitely overshot it. I think that I can definitely commit to 1 to 2 videos a week and go live sporadically, but there's no way I can commit to a schedule to, for going live. There's no way I can commit to a schedule. It has to be whenever possible, whenever I get the opportunity to. That's why I took this opportunity on a beautiful Saturday morning after handling all of my business, after handling all the stuff that I had to handle this morning. So I took the opportunity to go live. So I'm excited to be here again. The thing that I really do want to focus on for the rest of 2026 is building up this channel and building up my YouTube. I have an Instagram that's doing super well. I just want to focus on creation. Are you staying within your boundaries, or are you doing more than you can like last time? Yeah, no, I commit. I definitely tried to commit to doing more than I can for sure. So now I am staying within my boundaries. I'm staying within it. The other thing that I've decided that I am not going to do is I'm just not going to do coaching anymore. Um, so this is a fun life update for any of you guys. I still have a pretty good client list, a pretty not extensive, but I have quite a few clients still. But the thing that I'm not doing this year for 2026 is I am not taking on many more clients. I will take the fringe cases, like I will okay, so I feel like I haven't made many videos in 2020. I didn't make many videos in 2025, I feel like. What have you changed that you can stay within your boundaries? Here, I'm about to tell you actually. I'm about to actually go over that. So in 2025, I feel like I didn't really make that many videos. I think I made like between 10 and 20 total. Um, I made between like maybe 10 and 20 videos. And because I was busy building up my coaching business. Recently, Heather and I decided to join forces. And so we are both focusing a lot just on the clinic. So we're doing BHRT, GLP-1 therapy, medical weight loss therapy for people, and then bioidentical hormone therapy for people. Basically, my role is running the business, creating the offers, creating the social media content, having Tristan help us with that. I'm running the business while she's being the practitioner. So I'm putting together our packages. It's a lot of work, basically. 2025, I focused completely on my online coaching business. It did very well. Very well. It was the best year that I've ever had. However, what I slowly began to realize is that my love for coaching dwindled. It drifted completely. And so um I realized that I no longer wanted to babysit adults, right? And so here to answer the question. This is going to be a long-winded answer, but I think that it like kind of helps put perspective on things. Cuz although I've posted a lot of content, I don't share a lot of personal stuff on here. And that's something that I'm really challenging myself to do now is to be more personable. I think that's something that would actually help is that recently I've actually started to go to therapy. Which is something that I never thought that I would do or admit to, but I want to get more personal on this channel. Um, and I've become a Christian. You guys know all that. So anyway, I had the gym. You guys saw that. I closed down the gym. Okay. The reason why I opened the gym in the first place, and this will begin to make things make more sense, is I opened the gym in the first place because I wanted to just own a business. Proud of you for going to therapy. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm proud of myself too, to be completely real, but it feels good to hear somebody say that. Um, I opened a gym because I just wanted to be a business owner. I just wanted to run a business. I no longer wanted to do coaching, right? So that's why I opened the gym in the first place. Had dealings with business partners, had to shut it down, whatever. I got screwed out of tens of thousands of dollars. Everything's good. We're all good. We're over it. Um, Now, recently, in 2025, I put creating to the side, basically, right? Stop creating, stop doing, exactly what my dream was, stop doing, because my dream since the inception of YouTube, guys, has been to be a YouTuber, to be a creator. Actually, since I was a kid, my only dream has been to be a creator. I did music, I played live music, I did very well in music, actually. And it's always been this creation aspect. I'm a very creative person. I want to be a creator. And so YouTube was the logical, line to go down. On and off, I have done YouTube for probably 12 years now. That sounds about right. No, 14 years. Holy crap. I've been doing YouTube on and off for 14 years. But I never really gave myself like a real shot to be a YouTuber. And I think part of it was my lack of wanting to be super relatable and personable and share struggles on the internet and things of that nature. But I understand now that that's a real piece of this, right? Um, so the boundaries, right? We're getting there. We're getting there. So I actually decided to shut down my coaching business, except for I think I have 25 clients. I still deal with my kids in person. I can't let that go. I absolutely love working with kids. And I'll probably continue to do that for the rest of my life because I just appreciate the ability to mentor kids and to be able to help them grow and to see them become D1 players or all state and things of that nature because I'm very good at that. And I love doing that. So coaching kids will be something that I'll never get rid of. And then I have a list of my online people still. So what I've done is I've decided to not take on any more clients. Personally, I will not take on any more clients unless it's a very fringe case. That last year I was afforded the opportunity to become super selective about who I worked with because of the amount, of people that I had and the success that my business was seeing. I was afforded that opportunity to be very selective. I've decided to hold on to that opportunity and be very selective. So if I take on any more clients this year, it will probably be between 2 and 5, and that's it. Because I have the other business, and my focus for the rest of 2026, bringing it full circle, is to create, and it's to become, you know, um, along with being a business owner, for the clinic and doing all the responsibilities that I have there, and with my family, to be the greatest father that I can be, is to become a creator full time. So, and we have a lot of hands on deck right now for me to actually take advantage of the opportunity to be able to do that. So as long as I take care of my responsibilities at the clinic and do what I need to do there, and as a father, right, being the head coach on the baseball team and things of that nature, as long as I do all that and I can fit in the creation, I mean, we're here. We're here. We're there. So this is the goal for 2026, and we don't have that much longer. We have a good amount of time. We have 6 months. But I'm really going to put my best foot forward. And I understand now that that means that I can't, I don't know, overpromise, or I can't, that might mean that I can't commit to X amount of pieces of content per week, but that I just need to put out content. So that's it. I hope that answered the question in the 10 minutes that I took to answer it. But yeah, that's how we're doing it. That's what we're coming with 2026. We're coming with the energy of being transparent, sharing struggles, um, being personable, doing for a long time, especially with the POTS content, I viewed myself as the big brother, telling people what they needed to hear. And it actually is through becoming a Christian and having the opportunity to talk with people about faith and talking with other with people who are atheists or whatever, that I've learned more about not talking at people, right? I think that's something that I really struggled with. Was I would talk at people, Sounds good. Some commitments, but not too much. And then with spare energy, you do fun extras, but only when you have energy. Yeah, totally, totally. And but there is a degree with that you have to sometimes you just have to do what you don't want to do, right? You do have to do that because without that, right, then it's just like fleeting, right? So you motivation comes and goes, and sometimes you just have to do it for the discipline of doing it, right? Like I don't not cold plunge every single day, right? Like I do it for the discipline and because I understand the value in it. But you're right, totally. But something that I learned through this, transformation of becoming a Christian was like not talking at people and meeting people where they're at and helping them from there. And I viewed myself as the big brother, the POTS big brother, the POTS syndrome big brother, and telling people what they needed to hear, or at least what I thought they needed to hear. And I wouldn't take any of that back because a lot of the stuff that I said has truth and holds value. But what I would say is that I could have done tough love, yeah. What I could have done was try to meet people where they're at a little bit more because the message can sometimes get lost in the messenger, right? So, like, I feel as though I'm a pretty decent communicator, but when I get super passionate about things, I don't always do the best job communicating the message. And that's what I'm trying to work through this year as well. Not just, in content or coaching, but just in life in general. Understanding how to actually communicate messages rather than just like talking at people. I want to talk with people. I want to talk with you guys. I don't want to talk at you guys and tell you exactly how to live your life. Like there are definitely some things that I can probably, you know, teach people as people could teach me. And there are some things that I could be like, dude, you're fucking up. Like you got to fix that. But I think the most productive conversations are the ones where you get to meet people where they're at and then ask questions and listen and guide them through what's going on rather than being like, you lazy motherfuckers, you gotta blah, blah, And I think that as a younger dude, like however old I was when I started making POTS content, probably 27, 28, as a younger dude, I always commendable to work on communication skills. Thanks. I think as a younger dude, I had so much fire for life and I still do. It's just totally a different way, right? Like you and this is the blessing and the curse of like being on the internet is that people get to see your transformation, like how people will sometimes say there's this creator that I love to like I think it's so funny to watch people criticize him. His name is Sneeko. And people criticize him so much for like flip-flopping, right? Ideals and ideas and stuff. And but to me, what I see when I see people like that, and even myself, is I see growth and I see wrestling with ideas. I don't see flip flopping because through life, if you're only so one lined, right, like always throughout your life, and you're never changing perspectives, or you don't have, you're not changing the way that you kind of like move through the world. It's very rigid, and it to me it shows like a lack of ability to grow or be self aware, right? And understand where your flaws are and making changes and making um yeah, making changes and making progress. Like and that's something that I'm constantly chasing is progress, and so I never want to be super rigid. There are some things that I'm definitely rigid about and that I hold strong beliefs in. But then there's a lot of things too, like the communication aspect, right? Not yelling at people. I might still do that. I might still call people lazy. Because I do believe that a lot of people are lazy. I might still get super passionate like I used to in the lives, but I'm hoping that now it comes from like a different place. So anyway, yeah, we're feeling good. We actually feel great. We feel great. So 2026 is going to be about creating, about making content, about running the clinic business. 2026 is going to be about helping people, about documenting life. This channel is not going to be totally about thank you. I hope you're feeling great too. Um it's going to be about documenting. It's not just like this channel is not just going to be about POTS content. It just can't be, right? It just can't only be about that. Because that's not even 5% of my concentration in life. I don't even think it's 1% of my concentration in life. It's more so going to be about documenting, and I hope that people can take inspiration in the fact that I used to have POTS syndrome and that I live life in a completely different way now. I snowboard, I mountain bike, I do MMA, I do jiu-jitsu, I do kickboxing, I do CrossFit. I'm going to be competing in CrossFit 2027, doing a qualifier in October that I can't wait to document for you guys. Hopefully a jiu-jitsu competition in 2027 as well. Show you guys the ins and outs of business. So I just hope that that can be like inspiration to people with POTS that are struggling right now. But I'm not, probably 90% of the time, I will not be making POTS related content. These lives will probably be more for POTS people to connect with you guys, answer questions, talk about comments and things of that nature. But yeah, the content will be mostly about like what's actually happening in life, what's actually going on in my life. And hopefully that can be of inspiration to some people, right? Because I also do have a different crowd that I feel like I talk very well to in real life, you know, like troubled kids, you know, because that's where I come from, being a troubled kid, being broke, stuff like that. So that's it, guys. I can't believe it's been 41 minutes. 41 minutes on live. Can you believe that? It literally felt like 5 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun. But I got to go work out. I got to go be a dad. I got to put my son through a workout. I got to put, you know, me and Tristan through a workout, and Heather, and then our daughter will hopefully just maybe she'll work out or she'll just chill. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. It was really, really good to see you again. Thanks for popping in on the live. And fun to see you too. And we'll talk to you guys. So for some reason, the Harley gang decided to drive through my neighborhood. Good. All right, guys. We'll talk to you in the next one. Peace out. Goodbye. How do I do this?